Of course you are. Does anybody know what that's from? Of course you are. Said like that. Well, actually, it's a slightly different line, but guy says, "What's your name?" Says, "Candy." Says, "Of course it is." Great movie. I don't know if there's an extended cut, but I would definitely watch it. All right, we're live. We are live, everyone. What did I have? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I want to talk about the market really quickly here. Let's move on over to real quick, though. By the way, I did set up a bedtime trade on the euro to just go break down this consolidation area. And if so, it had a chance to test the pivot low that was nearby. This is a very short-term oriented trade, so it was likely to hit target if it broke in that direction. And it did, and it did. So, all right, moving on now. Looking at the market from the daily perspective, where we are in the grander scheme of things, we're about to open up just a little bit below yesterday's close, in definitely the strong area of all the price action that's been going on this week. So it's a perfectly good spot to open. And again, I don't mind if we have a red day or two or even three to get down here a little bit. You know, once it bottoms out and then starts to take off again, what that's going to do is form a higher low. And so many traders will get in before the 4 points to a confirmed uptrend. They'll start getting in on a higher low, signs of a higher low turning around. It starts small and then it starts to snowball. So, pulling back would be really a wonderful thing because it could be just what propels us up and beyond and to new higher highs. But, it is the nature of a short squeeze, which is what we're seeing on the market right now. Just keep squeezing higher. So that can happen as well, but that's going to be less healthy, let's say. But it still will be wonderful. So let's see. Today, a key level to get over will be that close. We want to get over 282 on the Qs, 282. If we can get over yesterday's high, that'd be 284-ish. So 282, first level to clear. We might reject there. If we do, that's where we turn red for the day. 284 could also be anywhere in that region there where we. Oh, the mic is terrible. Okay, hang on. Do I sound like this? Okay, this is better, I'm sure. Anyway, we might reject at 282. It could be as high as 284, or we could just blast through it all on short covering. So we shall see. What I wanted to talk about was the jobs report came out. Jobless claims was worse than expected. However, the market rallied on that information, although it is a little bit turning around since then. But it initially rallied on that information, and I can only attribute that to the fact that everyone was just worried and scared of whatever the information might be. And they're like, oh, is that all? And it actually was 10% more than expected, so of a surprise. So it was actually a decent surprise. But for whatever reason, people were like, all right, I can handle that. So that released some volatility, some fear in the market for the moment. And we had a little rally off of that. But it looks like it is turning around. And who knows, maybe it's just going to fall all day. Again, that is just fine by me. We need a couple of days of healthy pullback in order to finally get to a higher low level. We can't put in a higher low if we don't go low. We have to go lower to get a higher low going. So it's got to happen. Gold, I noticed, is in a channel, hitting the top edge of the channel. Let's pull that up on futures. Top edge of the channel, and is an entrance for a short. It looks like previously, every time it hit the top end of that channel, it took about, let's see, April 18th to about a month after hitting near the top edge of the channel to get down to the low end of the channel. So, expect about that swing trade on gold. Gold has moved pretty slow to last about a month, if it actually even works. And then there's oil, which is in a similar situation. It's at the top end of a little micro channel, not too micro, but it is in the region, in the vicinity of scaling in short for it to run back down to like around 74 in the next 2 weeks. So we're in the shorting region to take profits in about 2 weeks on the low side. So that's oil and gold trades potentially out there. And then you saw my euro earlier. And then you've got the dollar also, which has pulled back to an entry area. And we alerted that entry a couple days ago, potentially yesterday. No, 2 days ago. So pulled back to the trend line. We could also see a deceleration on the dollar and for it to break accelerating trend lines. And if that happens, it could be the beginning of a breakdown on the dollar, which would probably signal the market going up, by the way. Let's see, yields are almost all at around 4%. By the way, you should start locking in some of those and buying up some bonds because this may be the highest that they're going to get. And so for your investment portfolio or for your retirement portfolio, you should eventually get that up to between a 30 and a 60% allocation in bonds. That's where you want to be. The sweet spot is 60% bonds in the retirement portfolio. And you can get that at like almost 4% right now. So you can get a 30-year, you can get a 10-year, 5-year, 2-year. They're all hovering right around 4%, and it is likely to start to curve over and top out around here. And then once rates are lowered in the future, the bond value will actually go up. Whether or not you decide to, exercise that bond and turn it in at a higher value and no longer receive the guaranteed income, that's up to you and your retirement portfolio. But this is it. In the next 10 to 20 years, this will be considered the best moment to buy bonds for retirement or for income earning portfolios. This is it over the next few months here. And of course, if there's a crash and the Fed has to, in the future, in any years in the future, and the Fed has to lower rates, your bonds can even double in value. So there's a lot of appreciation out there on your capital potential with those bonds, despite the fact that it's a guaranteed flat return of your capital in the end, plus all the dividend, plus all the bond coupon payments you'd be getting over those years. You can decide to turn it in at any time. It can go up 50%, 100% in value if there's ever a market crash. That's why you hedge an equity portfolio with bonds 60-40. 60% bonds, 40% equities being higher octane and more volatile. And when you put them together, you get a nice smooth return. This is the time in which to be allocating bonds for that move. As a matter of fact, it could also be a good time to be getting into equities. Like I said, Ford could be a very good investment. Ford for the long term right now. I think some people said they got it at 11.50. That's where we were targeting it. All right, we're watching PEGY and Beat this morning. Beat looking good, hitting 641. We're also watching CCNC and a bunch of others, but those are the big ones. Beat, PEGY, and CCNC. So we'll see what happens at the market open. We got the market open in about 2.5. Where do you get the bonds? Oh, really good question. There's a website that looks like the DMV. You think it's going to be a scam or something because it looks like the DMV, man, but that's just the government for you. It's called treasurydirect.gov. That's not some scam website or some third party where somebody's like dealing you fucking diamonds from a third world country or something. That is the government's website where you literally do connect your bank account and buy digital bonds. They're not paper anymore. You used to get this beautiful pieces of paper. No, that is legitimately the government website where you buy U.S. Treasury bonds. It's over at treasurydirect.gov. It's real, looks weird, but it's the shit. That's where you can go and do that. And right now, I bonds, I think, are giving 10% a year. So I bet there's a maximum allocation on I bonds per year, but government bonds, yeah, man, this is the time. All right, we've got I don't know what, a minute and a half before the open here, and beat seems to just keep on going. I gotta fix my chart up on that really quick before the open so I can see that price way up high. It's getting away from my chart even. All right, there we go. All right, we are set and ready. At this point, beats play 1 and play 2. It's breakout and dip back to VWAP. VWAP dips. Either way, let's see what happens at the open. Buy it if it drops swiftly into VWAP. Buy it if it breaks out. 644. But if it grinds down slowly to VWAP, that's not a buy. You want to buy a drop, a flush. Okay, here we go. We got 50 seconds until the open. The website for bonds, that was treasurydirect.gov. Hey, Tony, good morning. Yes, I was actually telling Tony that yesterday. It is one ugly looking website. Looks like the Predator. It is one ugly motherfucker. That's where you buy the most secure assets on the planet. U.S. Treasury bonds. All right, market opening now. Here we go. Watch and beat carefully. Watching PEGY. Look for pre-market high breaks for momentum entries. Watch for flush downs to VWAP for dip buys. There we go. Breakout on beat. That's a breakout entry. Plan A on beat. Start pulling back immediately at the 650 level. Pulling back hard over to VWAP. That should be bought up. That was a flush down. So we're over to plan B a bit now. On beat. CCNC curving up nicely right off of the open. Definitely over some resistance pivots. So right out here is an entry at 40 cents. And there it goes. It's still going more. Your stop will be set to 36 cents. So a 4-cent stop loss. Now 5-cent stop loss hitting 41 cents. CCNC is moving. CCNC curling up. I'm not seeing much going on over on PEGY. Stab with beat with that flush down to VWAP. If it doesn't hold the nearby pivot of 566, you're going to have to cut. But it needs to soften here.
Alert.
After that flush to VWAP. It needs to soften, otherwise it's going to end up being a short all day. And you don't want to be long on a short. So we do need to see it soften here. Decelerate, find some bottom. It looks like it is. It looks like it is finding bottom into that VWAP area. VWAP is that big blue line on my chart. It's got a long ways to gap fill, and if that's what it wants to do, you don't want to be in it for that, because it could go from 570 and crack down to 460. You don't want that. So watch your stops here and this VWAP entry area. The market itself rallying at the open. Has not gone above pre-market highs. However, it's a positive for sure. We are at that 282 level on the Qs, 282. Will it be resistance? Will it be met with resistance, or will we fly through and try and test 284? Should be interesting. PEGY pulling back to about 4. We were in that for the overnight. To me, that's a breakdown pivot wise. So that'd be an exit on your PEGY position for about 50% gains in overnight. Really good, guys. 45 almost cents on CCNC already. So that's about 9% gains already in just a couple of candles over on CCNC. Beat starting to come up off of that VWAP dip buy to meet your breakout buy. You're way above your average entry now. If you got the dip and the breakout, you're looking pretty good. Your average should be about 630, and we're at 645. Here we go. Looks like Beat's going to do it. It's going to go attempt to break 653. I don't see why it shouldn't. It's got no resistance. There it is, 653, 665. All right, your first exit on that should be about 5 to 20% right underneath 675. So like 671, 672, right around there. It's hit 665, starting to soften a little bit and decelerate. Who's in, by the way? Who's in? Let us know. There we go, 670. Randy's in. That'd be RJ. The famous RJ. Marcus is like, fuck, man, I show up every goddamn morning. I'm always first, and fucking RJ is more famous. It's fuck. Yeah. Now you'll be hearing more about Marcus. You'll see. His time is coming. Justin also in at 611 cost average. Oh, really good. Justin got the dip buy to VWAP, it sounds like. Is that correct? Really good. Then as it goes and it passes the 25-cent levels, you want to be taking out partial profits. That's the HFT ladder system that we trade these at. You want to master the HFT ladder trading stuff. That's over in the Market Mastery. I think you're in the Market Mastery, Justin. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you are, that'd be the section to study. You are. Okay, good. Make sure you master that. Watch it more than once. And then you can just use those for your exiting and for trade management. I mean, it's just more knowledge. Anyway, these levels and these key price levels, they do apply. All right, PEGY is pushing back up. It's at 420. It's still somewhat of a dip buy until it can break the high of 435. Very nice. Really nice. All right, 440. There's the breakout on PEGY. Finally bringing in the momentum. Bringing some momentum to the table.
Alert.
And the market has, in fact, gotten up and over that 282 level on the Qs. It's at 282.50-ish, and it needs to work its way up and over yesterday's high, 280, roughly 284. Beat struggling. Not the greatest sign on Beat, but if you're in at VWAP, you've got some padding to let it breathe. At this point, that would be your stop. The low of $6 is your stop. In fact, here we are. We're pulling back. So using the HFT ladder setup, you would have taken your first profit at 625, your second profit at 650, and then you may or may not have taken profit at 670. PRVB, Prevention Bio, is breaking out right now. That's an entry on PRVB. There it goes, 610. with 25 cents of risk. Stop at 575, $6 entry. PRVB 612. PRVB picking up some steam, and PEGY crapping out actually all the way back to the bottom there. Yeah, I wasn't watching it. Hopefully, you guys were able to get out during that rip down. That's it. It's breaking down. Trade over on PEGY. You don't want that unless you're short. That is bad behavior. Nobody wants part of that. Just turned into a big lemon. Beat is holding VWAP. It's testing. It's testing VWAP. It's holding VWAP. Any fast moves, flushes into or through VWAP could be bought up. But as a breakout trade, probably not the greatest. PRVB hitting 627. PRVB really going now. Woo, look at that go. PRV hitting 637. So it's up about, what is that, 5% so far. Hit 639 on proverb or prevention or whatever we're going to call it. Really doesn't matter. It's all numbers and it's all money. Unless you're investing in it, it doesn't matter. No offense to the companies. Yeah, PRVB keeps going, 643. And Beat is getting supported by VWAP so far. The market rallying more. Now at 283.3 on the Qs. Getting close to breaking yesterday's high. It looks like it's squeezing. It's going quite parabolic in its nature. I can only guess that is a short covering bid. PRVB pulling back to 620. This is first pullback on PRVB. You can put a stop at 6 on PRVB. Stab starting to curl up. Stab, STAB, starting to curve up. And looks like it's going to break high of the day around 24.5 cents. That will be an entry at 24.5 cents. With the correct stop would be about 21.50. 21.5 cents. So about 3 cents of risk over on Stab. It's typically not the best idea to trade stocks that are under $3, but there's always an exception to every rule, and so you kind of, you can experiment with it if you want and feel it out. But usually the numbers work better in your favor, attract more money per share when price is over $3 and sometimes over $5. Oh, yeah, there's so many scammers out there, copycat scammers. Someone says they asked for $100 to send so that I can trade for them. Yeah, no, that's not me. Alert. Not allowed to trade for anybody. 283.4. The actual high breakout we're looking for. Yesterday's high was 283.81. We're at 283.50. So we're really close. We're 31 cents away from the market breaking yesterday's high. I mean, this market is doing exactly what I talked about on, well, really Friday when we were making those lows about how it's going to ignite the mother of all short squeezes on the market, on the whole market. Tesla, a piece of shit right now. Maybe you get in a couple months. Great stock, great company. But if you're trying to make money by buying common stock shares, now is not the time. The Q's leading the market much more so than the Dow or the SPY, the S&P 500. All right, Stab's now at 25 cents. So if you entered at 24.5 cents with 3 cents of risk, you're now up 0.3R, I think it is. Am I still holding short positions on the market? No. When was I ever holding short positions on the market? I mean, I do, granted, I do have a short-term memory and I don't remember a lot of things. So you tell me. All right, we're at 284. We are up and over that level on the Qs on NASDAQ. Quite moving in concordance, but it shall, as SPY, as S&P 500, makes a similar move. 2-3 weeks ago, oh yeah, 2-3 weeks ago, the market was bearish. So I might have been short. Yeah. I'm not short now, no. You gotta follow me every day if you want to, like, catch those turning points. Yeah, we were in finger. Solar stocks, let's see. Let me do that on a different screen here. They seem to have topped out at the moment. We had some really nice tasty alerts yesterday at market close. I hope that many of you were able to get in them for your swing, high growth swing portfolio. There were some that I was jealous that I wanted to get into. Hopefully you guys got into them. But I wasn't able to get into them because I was fully allocated. I'm fully allocated on the VIX right now. Well, yep, PEGY is breaking down. And beat still hanging at 627 right around VWAP. That's fine. It may flush down through VWAP, and you could buy that. That would be the last one, and if it stays at that level and then flushes down again, it's breaking down. That would not be good. But any kind of flush through VWAP and below VWAP that ends below VWAP, that's still okay to dip by, but not one that starts below VWAP and goes further. We have class tonight for members. We'll be going over the Ninja Trader platform and brokerage. Yeah. And market structure trading. PRVB is holding this consolidation area. Could be considered a flag. By the way, a green flag, not a red flag. Anyway, it's not what a flag means in technical analysis. It's a good thing. It just means a soft pullback, a resting period. Yeah, CCNC has pulled back substantially, and the stop should be at 0.36, 36 cents full stop out on CCNC. If so, it's well below VWAP at this point, and a pivot breakdown under VWAP would not be good. Stab holding around the 25-cent level. There's definitely a flush down on PEGY. We already got out of that, I think, anyway. And beat, yep, still holding that VWAP level. And the market has pulled back to, let's see, 283 on the Qs. Was still a good sign that we pierced that barrier. And we'll see how it moves from here. Joe, your pal Pale just showed up, said good morning. Make sure you say hello. Joe's really ready to eat up whatever alerts Pale has. He's been doing really good at following Pale, but Joe, you got to get a little bit on Pale's ass because he's new to our group and he kind of lacks a little bit of consistency in his structure. You got to tell him, hey, can you make your alerts, more obvious or something in your channel? Sometimes he'll post it here, he'll post it there. Maybe it's not illustrated, and you're not sure if you're supposed to take it, and a little unclear. I don't know. I can tell him so much before I get annoying to him. So if you guys can help out, that'd be good. That'd be good. All right, there we go on Stab. It's hitting now almost 27 cents after that 24.5 cent entry. That is now almost 1R. So 0.27 divided by 0.245 is up 10%. And it just goes to show some of these penny stocks can be worthwhile. 0.28 now. 0.28. You're over 1R on Stab. By the way, anybody get Stab? Hopefully you guys got some. All right, Randy's in, of course. Mike's in. Excelente. All right, you guys are the heroes. You bought yesterday's low on Stab. If pennies get volume, they move. No, that's not true necessarily. It does have to do with the flow. It's just like anything. They're just like anything else. Just because they're pennies doesn't make them proportionally any better well off than a company that is at a higher price. It has to do with the float. There's a proportion there's a relationship between the price and the float and the volume. All three work together. But they definitely can. It's probably an okay generalization. All right, PRVB just hit a new high, 647. Still in play. Buck here says buy any Canadian small cap oil and gas. That's true. That's he's got some good advice there, I'd say. Ugh. All right, everything's looking good. We've got a good flow going on here. We're on top of every opportunity. Let's move it into the group. I'm gonna head to the gym, have some breakfast. I'll be back shortly. And make sure you go into the momentum channel to stay on top of these opportunities. Hopefully it's getting really clear to you, some of you, how to trade these tickers so you can handle it and manage it. But if you do need some help, there's the Market Mastery. You can just ask me about that, or if you know the link, go check it out. You can get a bunch of lessons on all kinds of trading styles. And there's no such thing as bad information when it comes to stock trading. There can be wrong information, but there's no bad information. There's no misinformation. There's only information. It's how you think about it that makes it bad or good. And the more knowledge you have, the better. It's just Careful who you listen to, that's all. Thought on beat currently? I mean, that's too slow of a move. That's not a flush down. I'd be very concerned about that. Probably exit.
Alert.
I'd be very concerned about a slow pivot break like that. You could probably strike support all the way back to 570 though. You know, but it depends on how you calculated your risk. You might not, you might be losing more than you expected if you didn't calculate the 570 on your dip buy on the flush down. All right, cool, everybody. Catch you later. I'll be back shortly. See you soon. Yep, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Oh, awesome. You took the course, started learning. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you more often.